You ever notice how some people only start respecting you the moment you stop tolerating their nonsense? It's almost like the second you stop explaining yourself, stop reacting, stop being emotionally available on demand, everything about the dynamic changes. People don't suddenly become better. They simply lose access to the version of you they could control. That shift isn't emotional, it's psychological. And once you understand it, you stop wondering why toxic people disappear and start realizing they were only comfortable when you had no boundaries. The first shift is simple. Stop over-explaining yourself. A lot of people don't even realize how much they do this. They explain their decisions, their timing, their boundaries, their feelings, all because they want to avoid conflict or guilt. Psychology calls this self-justification fatigue. Toxic people love it because your explanations give them leverage. They pick apart your reasoning, twist your words, guilt-trip you, or use your vulnerability to control you. But when you stop over-explaining, when you answer calmly without a 3-paragraph justification, they lose that power. You're no longer emotionally negotiating your own decisions. And when manipulation stops working, manipulators start disappearing. The second shift is even more powerful. Don't react. Not emotionally, not defensively, not dramatically. Toxic people are fueled by emotional reactions. It's called intermittent reinforcement, the same psychological pattern that keeps people addicted to gambling or toxic relationships. They don't need you to react every time, they just need it sometimes. That tiny emotional reward keeps them coming back. But when you become emotionally neutral, steady tone, steady energy, everything changes. They can't hook you. They can't trigger you. They can't feed off your frustration. And because there's no emotional payoff, their behavior collapses. They get bored. They move on. Then comes the third shift. Set one clear boundary. Not a long speech, not a list of rules, just one boundary delivered calmly and consistently. Psychology shows people respect boundaries when consequences are predictable. Not loud, not dramatic, just firm. Most people destroy their own boundaries by bending them, by giving just one more chance, by trying to be nice. But the moment you stop bending, the moment you become consistent, toxic people stop testing you. They realize the old version of you, the one they could push, guilt, and manipulate, is gone. Boundaries don't push away the right people. They filter out the wrong ones. The fourth shift is subtle but extremely effective. Become less available. Not out of spite, not as a game, but because this is how behavioral extinction works. When you don't reward a behavior, it dies. Toxic people thrive on consistent access to your attention, energy, and emotional responses. When that access becomes limited, when you take longer to reply, when you stop entertaining drama, when you become emotionally independent, their influence disappears. They don't get what they used to get from you, and once the reward is gone, so are they. And then there's the final shift. Choose silence. Silence isn't weakness, it's psychological detachment. When you stop reacting to provocation, criticism, gossip, or emotional bait, you send a message much louder than words. Your behavior no longer affects me. And that terrifies toxic people. They rely on your emotional reactions to feel powerful. When you remove that, their control collapses. Silence forces them to face themselves, and most people can't handle that. So instead of changing, they leave, which is exactly what needed to happen. Here's the truth most people never realize. You don't actually lose toxic people. They lose access to the version of you who kept the peace at your own expense. They lose the version of you that absorbed disrespect quietly, the version that explained everything in hopes of being understood, the version that reacted emotionally because you cared, the version that tolerated chaos to avoid conflict. When that version of you dies, their power dies with it. What comes next is not loneliness, it's clarity. It's the realization that your peace was never supposed to be negotiable, that you don't need to explain your boundaries to be worthy of them, that you don't need reactions to prove you care, that you don't need to carry people who refuse to carry themselves. And once you step into this new version of yourself, calmer, clearer, stronger, you finally understand that your growth will naturally offend people who benefited from your lack of it. So ask yourself honestly, who would disappear from your life if you stopped explaining, stopped reacting, and stopped bending? Those are the people who were never real in the first place. And the moment you stop tolerating nonsense, you stop losing energy and start gaining yourself back. If this opened your eyes, then you already know what comes next. Hit subscribe. This is the Knownsense, where we decode human behavior, expose psychological truths, and help you grow into someone even you will respect. And drop a comment below.